thing. You cannot panic.
Take it to the Lord. Yeah, take it to the Lord. In the church, prayer bells are ringing. That church is praying. Strongholds are breaking. To the Holy Ghost is moving. Prayer bells are ringing. Zion children is praying. This battle is not yours. It belongs to God. Oh Jesus. Why won't you take it to the Lord? Prayer man, take it to the Lord. Prayer man, take it to the Lord. Prayer man, to the Lord. Prayer man, take it to the Lord.
and good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, wherever you are listening locally, regionally, internationally. And sorry for the delayed start tonight, yeah? Wow. Yeah, one moment I was about to start and then there was some static on the system. It was kind of overpowering the music and so on, yeah? And then somehow I got that sorted out. And right after I got that sorted out, another problem started, yeah. My video went out as soon as I got to go live, yeah. It's one of those nights, yeah? But one thing I know, when the night start like that, it does end excellent, eh? Yeah. Good night to Mr. Handsome. I know that you're there listening. Good night to the geezer. Good night to you. Good night to all of the lovely listeners out there. Hey, my good cousins in Carriacou. It's been a while since I've shouted you all out. My cousins in Carriacou, my cousins up there in the snow, up in New York, and yeah, wherever you are. Yeah, cousin Sheldon saying hello. Auntie Sylvie, Uncle Ba, Ras Ira, Beverly, lucky lady. Yeah, see that? Nice. I have it quiet there and I end the static nice. Yeah, proper day, man. If you all are getting it on your end, let me know. I was checking it from my end as well, off of my devices here. I was checking it to make sure. Yeah, but let me know if you all are still having problems with the audio on your end. In fact, I get a call already, man. I know it have a partner from the time you hear one thing off, he does call. So I know if it was anything off, they he'd a call already, man. Good. Zoe, good night to you, Zoe. Zozo. Yeah, so we're just about ready to go, yeah? We just make sure, yeah, all you have to come in, man. What do all you have to come in, yeah. Hit the like button and find a reach a number to start them kind of conversation we need to have yet, yeah. All you come in, man, come in. Remember, folks, we do need your help. So remember, we're looking for the donations. Yes, remember, you can go to pay.go2fet.com/484. You can go there and you can make your donation to Talking Points. We'll put it up a little later in the show again. Yeah, nice. getting close to the number. I ain't find I see the magic number yet, man.
Good.
Yeah, we're going to take one more and then we're going to get into our discussions for tonight. We've got quite a lot to play, quite a lot to say. It looks like we will end up having to go until 10:30 tonight. Saint P, good night, bro. Only so I buy, so I sell. I hear NDC endorsing people tonight. Yeah, I hear they endorsed people last night, and I hear that they're endorsing people tonight. And you all know, if a party is a ruling party and they start the process of endorsement of the caretakers / candidates for a general election, you're all supposed to know what that means. All I'm saying is, I hear endorsement taking place tonight. One take place last night. We know one take place last week. So as I say, I hope you all are ready. Yes, indeed. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Talking Points is on. Now, I saw something today, and I saw something today kind of confusing to me. And let me tell you all why it's confusing. Last week, not last week as in, the week before, on the 16th of January, in the government gazette, they sent out an official notice. A notice was sent out by the Parliamentary Elections Office. Yeah? So let me just get to it here. The Parliamentary Elections Office. Yeah? Regarding the Representation People of the Act, Chapter 286A. And it said that the official consolidated list of electors as at 31st December 2025 is out. Right? It said here, there shall be a 7-day period for claims and objections regarding the list from the 22nd to the 29th of January 2026. Yeah, so it gave us 7 days from the 22nd of January, walk with me now, 22nd of January to the 29th of January for objections. Only for today, this public notice came out here. Let me just pull up the public notice here, saying that the office that we're supposed to go to and make the objections would be closed on the last day that we had to go and make the objections. Tell me wherein that makes any sense to those of you who are out there viewing and listening to this. Yeah? So they are saying that, and let me see, I should have this better here, right, yeah. So you could see. So while they're telling us via the government gazette that we can come in onto the 29th of January and make, they have now said on the last day that you're supposed to come, not any other day when you couldn't make those objections and those kind of things. But one of the days within the 7-day period, they have now come out and said that is the day they're taking for a staff retreat. Not the day after to say they're taking the staff retreat on the Friday. But they sent out, understand what I'm getting at here? Because you have to understand the rigmarole and nonsense that does take place in this country from time to time. The Parliamentary Electoral of Elections Office, they sent out this. This was gazetted. This was placed in the Government Gazette of the 16th of January 2026. Yeah? So the period for objections, there it is, you know. It's not me say, it's them say. There shall be a 7-day period for claims and objections regarding the list from the 22nd to the 29th of January 2026. And then your public notice saying, well, on the 29th, we sent out something to tell you, but they ain't telling you that here. But on the 29th, the final day for the objections, unless they're telling us that the final day for the objections is Wednesday, unless that's what they're telling us, but this doesn't say the final day for objections is Wednesday. It says from the 22nd to the 29th of January. Yet still now, you're sending out notice today saying you're closing your office on the 29th. So if folks have objections and they don't have the ability to get there before Thursday, which is the day that you say that is the final day for objections, how are they supposed to give the objections, and will their objections be considered on the Friday? Because if it's brought in on the Friday, legally, you can always say that you did not take it because it is outside of the 7 days that it is supposed to come in. So the general public is hereby informed that the Parliamentary Elections Office and all the constituency offices will be closed on Thursday. What wrong with Friday? What wrong with doing it on a Saturday? Yes, we know there are some Saturday worshippers and that sort of thing. But what wrong is with doing it on the Friday? But instead of that, they put out this. What is wrong with doing it next week? Why do you have to try and short us a day when we can make the applications and say, hey, these people and them shouldn't be on the list? You're taking a day away from us in relation to that. Something had to be wrong with all you. Tell me it's an oversight. I will give all the benefit of the doubt. Because I believe that it have good people in the Parliamentary Electoral Office. I just believe the people that guiding them is a bunch of crook. Say it as it is. Yeah? You all understand where I'm coming from? Yeah? You all understand why I keep saying that all of us have to be extremely vigilant when it comes to the voters list. Where else you can hear that kind of nonsense taking place? So you have a situation that you released a consolidated voters list. You released the consolidated voters list as of the 31st of December for the state of Grenada. Every school child in Grenada and their parents know from the moves that they're seeing that you all are in election mode. They are confirming constituency caretakers. There are teams of people all over the place, walking, going, canvassing, doing things. As I say, answer them, because you don't know if it's NNP, you don't know if it's NDC. Sometimes if it's the NNP group, as in real, the NNP will come out and say, well, it's NNP. You know? But answer them. Nothing wrong with answering them. Let them know. Tell them what you have to tell them. I ain't saying don't tell them. Or if you find this group is NNP and you want to tell them the real thing and that group is NDC, you're telling them something else. That is up to you. But understand what is taking place here. So I hope to meet in the morning a message from the Parliamentary Electoral Office saying that they made a mistake and they're going to be doing that retreat next week. 365 days in the year. The year just started. We're on the 27th day. You're choosing the one day that you should pause to keep your places open. Because we already had days that people couldn't go and register. So we already had days that basically the constituency offices were inoperable. So it made no sense for people to go there because you, the Parliamentary Electoral Office, sent out a notice to people saying that you can't come in and register. the system giving problems. The same system that NNP had to recently write again to remind you that it was the NNP was putting things in place to change that system since before 2022. The only way you didn't want to disrupt the system as you're going into election in 2022. But now you have 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026. And no move has been made by this administration to address the electoral system that we have. If you're having a retreat, because I saw it in other countries. Just before they call the election, they had retreat at the parliamentary electoral officers and them, they bring them in. All those registration officers, they brought them in, and the other workers in the parliamentary offices, they brought them in and speak to them and so on. And nothing is wrong with that. Note what I'm saying, nothing is wrong with that. But you have to understand what is shaping up here. And you have to understand that our measurement of each one of you listening to the program right now, those of you on Facebook, those of you on YouTube, each of you have a responsibility to find 12 plus 1, 12 people, one for each month last year. Yes, one for each month last year and one for this month. Each of us have a responsibility to find 12 people and bring them into the love, because there's love in the house. Bring them into the house of the new National Party, or bring them back into the house of the new National Party. There are literally thousands of people out there. Don't run them. They are brothers and sisters. Don't run them. If you see they're coming along, I say, don't run them, because some of them want to come, but they don't know how to come. You know how many people I have spoken to personally that told me, Sheldon, I give them guys a chance the last time. I get take up with the thing. I give them a chance the last time. But oh God, I don't making that mistake again. I can't wait until election. You are meeting people like that too. I know. I don't think any of us have not met people who are in a similar situation. We have a responsibility to our country, to the future of our country and the development of our country. We have a responsibility to keep in touch with these people, to walk these people back into the yard, to bring them sit down in the veranda, give them a nice glass of gospel juice or orange juice or lime juice, and a nice plate of saltfish sauce and fig with a slice of avocado. Some of them up there in the cold right now want to cuss me when they hear that. But yeah, or a nice plate of oil down. And then we have to bring them into the house. Yeah? They are our brothers and sisters. Don't see them as, oh, I see you jumping up at NDC the last time. No. You don't win elections by deleting people. You win by adding people. You don't win elections by running people. You win elections by bringing people in. So it could be a neighbor who vote for NDC. How much time? Talk to them. Bring them into the house of the new National Party. Those of you who are in the diaspora right now, and you may be afraid, you say, boy, me ain't too sure I come in and vote, I'm watching how things going. You have power to speak to your relatives here. Speak to your friends, your schoolmates, your former co-workers, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your outside woman, your side man. Speak to them and get them to come into or come back into the house of the new National Party, because we ain't taking this thing for joke, We know we beaten them, but we have to explain to them just how much nonsense they do in the last 3 and some years. We know we beaten them, but we can't take it for granted. We cannot take it for granted. Get them into the house. And when you go in to vote on that morning, when that morning comes, and we say morning, I don't want to hear about you going and vote in the evening. Go and vote early. When the time comes, go and vote early. And don't be selfish. Bring others with you. Because NDC Pabon, ask us St. Lucian what that mean. NDC Pabon might be pronouncing it slightly different to how they pronounce it. You know the accent. It is time for us to do what we have to do. That time has been there a long time. Support your political leader. Right now, we ain't what I'm saying nothing about we answering. I tell you how it go. We answer. We ain't getting no fight, you know. We ain't getting no cuss out. But we answering because we have answers. We know that we have a political leader that is, watch, she's at a level that they will never reach. We know that we have a team of people, from your political leader, deputy political leader, your chairman, deputy chairman, everybody within this political organization are people of achievement. You look at our parliamentary team, you look at our Senate team, you look at our team in the House of Representatives, and you see competent, capable people with achievements behind the name. Meanwhile, you have Mr. Study, Mr. Pinky Tokolux, and Miss Blue Horizons, Blue Oceans, whatever she named. I don't know if it's Blue Horizons or Blue Oceans, whatever she named. But all you know what we're talking about, the one in Gov. You have these people who trying to talk down to the rest of us as though they have this lock on achievement and so on. We have to teach them a lesson. We have no other option. No, we have to teach them a lesson. So don't be selfish with it. Don't be selfish with it. And I see Kathleen, you're asking me where you can find the voters list on the web. You can go to peogrenada.org. You can go there and you can do the search there. As well as if you want the actual physical list, the digital PDF of the list, you can message me and I'll try to send that to you. All right, you can message me or for the YouTube, message me on the WhatsApp or where, and I could try to send that to you. So Papa Yo, so we hear now that they have the Parliamentary Electoral Office doing this nonsense, that they know, again, for those of you that just arrived, I ain't saying craziness, I'm able to show what I'm talking about. The government gazette, right, of the 16th says that there shall be a 7-day period for claims and objections. In other words, a 7-day period during which, and I'm still wondering if weekends should have been added in that 7-day period, because obviously folks cannot make those claims and objections on a Saturday and a Sunday. So for for this, I am wondering whether the 29th should be the last day, because somewhere in my mind is telling me that you cannot count the weekend when you're counting the 7 days. So even that Parliamentary Electoral Office, all you have to look at that, because I do not think you're supposed to be counting the Saturday and the Sunday, because you're speaking of 7 business days. You can't tell me that I have 7 days to make an objection when it is really 3 days or 4 days that I could actually make an objection, and I can't make one on Saturday or Sunday. I can check the list on those days, but I can't make the objection on those days. So I would challenge that you all are actually looking at this thing as 7 days. I would challenge that. And I would say that there needs to be some relook at what you all put out today, because you all put out a thing saying the office closed on one of the days. So you're already missing Saturday, you're missing Sunday, and now you're missing Thursday too. So the only days that you had to make that is when? Last week, Friday, yesterday, and today and tomorrow. Is that it? It's 7 days. So I would challenge that. Now, I'm telling you straight, I would challenge that. Because I find that is madness. And it looks suspicious. And the one thing you definitely already have somebody trying to Amanda Jack the situation in Carriacou. When she come in the retreat, you must tell her retreat as and go. So you already have somebody trying to Amanda Jack the situation up there. So what you all need to do, is ensure that we all can fully trust the electoral system. As it is right now, you all, through your actions, are raising suspicion in relation to the electoral system here in Grenada. And that ain't a good thing. Not for democracy is not a good thing. Yeah? It is not a good thing when people have to vote and are suspicious of the electoral system that they are using. It does not bode well for democracy. And if it means that Her Excellency Dame Cecile has to step in to address this situation, so be it. Dame Cecile, maybe you have to step in. But one, I do not believe that they have rightly given 7 days. And two, I can't see how you could be closing on one of the days that people are supposed to be bringing their information in. And not even to say, well, we close in 12 or we close in 1 or nothing. They just close. All offices close on that day. Madness, man. Yeah, I can't understand this one. Madness. Yeah? Yeah, madness, man.
From the hear the voice, Alex Sosa and the wife here. Come revive. There is a home, oh golden city. Right mansion away spill. In the sky, oh you can enter this golden city.
Right, my dear. Somebody said have a 18-year-old that could register to register them, yeah? Now note, I want you all to understand, it does not mean that registration closes. No, registration is continuous. Please, go and register if you haven't registered. And make sure that your name is on the list. If you know you registered up to the sometime before the 31st of December, your name ought to be on this list. Make sure that your name is there. Don't let them tell you, well, you register in November, you register in December, so your name not on the list. Your name is supposed to be there. We have continuous registration. So you need to make sure that your name is there. If you have children or you have other people that have qualified, maybe they have qualified through marriage. They are now Grenadian citizens through marriage. And there are other ways that people can qualify and therefore should be able to vote. And you know they're voting for NNP. We ain't telling nobody going to vote to keep what they in power. No, but we ain't telling them nothing. Tell them and get them to come in. Yeah? To go and register and vote. No, sometimes I see people having retreat on weekend and things. And say, we're having retreat during the week on that particular day. That's suspicious. I say it as it is. It's suspicious. Not auspicious, it's suspicious. Make it make sense. Any of my good friends who are listening, I know I have a lot of lawyers that listen to this program. Tell me if I'm wrong. If this 7 days should not include a Saturday and a Sunday, because people can't go to the office on those days and say, okay, you have these 50 dead people on the list, and this person does not reside here. They have never resided here in this community, and so on. So, how is that person on the list, or that person, or this person, or so on? That is what you have the ability to do right now, to go in and say that. You can't be limiting the amount of days I have to do that. The law says 7 days. Yeah? 7 days. Should the Saturdays and the Sundays be counted? One of you lawyers, message me and let me know. Not the Bush lawyers, those that went to university and have the LLB and all them. No, yeah, them, yeah. One little endorsement and then people on Thursday, them and this year. We're not quite opening the phone lines yet. I'll tell you when we open the phone lines. We ain't opening the phone lines yet. Well, I say phone line. Phone line. Yeah, all you know is only WhatsApp. Phone line.
Listen, when the saints are marching in, when the saints go
So folks, pay, especially since you're seeing those kind of moves, you all supposed to know. Especially when them things start to take place, pay additional attention to the list. Yeah? Pay additional attention to the list. The mere fact that I've said what I've said there a while ago and you all understand clearly that, hey, this is happening, pay attention to the list. Yeah? Because sometimes it might be something that they want you to notice that you might notice. So pay attention to the list. Eh? No self are going through it with a fine tooth comb. And the way to deal with these things again is to be extremely vigilant. Yeah? Be extremely vigilant. Go through the list yourself. Pass the information on to your constituency representative. If you don't know how to reach them, you know how to reach Sheldon. Sheldon will tell you how to reach whoever it is. Yeah? So reach to me, message me. You all have the WhatsApp, message me, and I could pass the information on. Yeah? But remember, according to them, we only have tomorrow, right? So do what you have to do. Quick. Because when you think you had Thursday, you had Thursday again. They closing all the office Thursday. Blatant, yeah? I mean, if they can't win honestly, they go have to thief it. That's what I understand what they're thinking, yeah? But they could only thief it if we let them thief it. So do the work, yeah? Well, now we're supposed to be hugging up all our caretakers and so on. Yeah? And if you ain't sure who the caretaker is, hug up NNP. Because whoever NNP put there is going to be the person that representing you. So hug up NNP. Yeah? Nice. Yes, indeed. And folks, today it was interesting again. They started back having the post-cabinet press briefings, which is very interesting because we clearly remember the present administration speaking of information being on a need to know from since the first press secretary. Remember, I even forget the child name. The young lady that was press secretary before. Yeah. What was her name? Anyway, that is not important. But yeah, the press secretary that was there before. And was saying that information would be on a need-to-know basis. Remember, that was the information that we was getting out of the government information service and so. So they saw no need to have press conferences. In fact, the only time that they had regular press conferences was in the couple days of burial. Yeah? The day of burial and the couple days after burial is when they had a regular press conference. Because it's time to star. So they had regular press conferences during that period of time. Yeah, folks? So we have to do what we have to do. Don't worry, my dear. Nobody touching you. Yes, a good friend of mine just messaged me to tell me they're threatening her. Yeah, threaten her. Right, nice. Yeah, go ahead, threaten her. Well, they're threatening. All right. I'm doing one show on all and I'm giving out all the information. And I hope nobody don't vex with me. Or they like to threaten people when I put out all the information. Who vex, but I know they will can't jail me because I know everything I go say is true. Threaten the young lady. Nice young lady have a child. You're looking to do the young lady that, get rid of the young lady house, put her out of the... Well, come on, man. You see the kind of wickedness and vindictiveness? And they don't state when they win election, they go deal with this one and they go deal with that one and they go deal with this one and that one. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. So I was listening to the press conference today. Quite interesting. The first thing I'll get on to here is that they've said that they are going to sign the MOU. Yeah, they said they're going to sign MOU with the US in relation to taking the... They could say third party as much as you want. Stop this stupidness. All you're taking deportees. Just say that. About, oh, we're going to be taking third country nationals. There could be third country, first country, second country, or third country. They are deportees. They are no longer wanted in the United States, and the US looking for somewhere to dump them, and they are saying to you, you have to take them. Yeah? All you could use all the flowery and nice language all you want. Reality is reality. So let's see. Oh, come on. What are you doing now? No, not you. What are you doing here now? Yeah. Come on, where's my audio, man? Yeah, where's my audio here? Yeah, folks, for some reason, I think I see what the problem is here. Let me see if it works now.
So, as mentioned by the Prime Minister, we'll kick off with the state of negotiations between the United States of America and Grenada. The U.S. has made a request of us to accept transferees from third countries. This is a matter that we are taking very seriously because it requires very careful deliberation. We, at the cabinet level, discussed it thoroughly over a number of weeks. There was quite a bit of back and forth between the United States and us, and we have finally come to a point where we believe that we are prepared to sign the non-binding, non-legal MOU with the United States. The essence of it is that Grenada, on a case basis, the acceptance of people transferred out of the United States. We have got the United States to agree that they will provide a full dossier on any transferee that we may accept, dealing with their medical history, their criminal records. In fact, let me amend that. We have insisted.
Let me just say one thing here. There ain't no way the United States giving anybody medical history. Yeah? There is no way that the US government can send somebody to Grenada and hand you that person's medical history. You lie. All right? And criminal record, oh, let's hear you explain that one because you say it. Yeah, you say it because you know it's true. You're looking for the criminal record. You want the criminal record, yeah?
No one with any criminal record, save and except for violations of U.S. immigration laws, will be accepted by Grenada. Now, this MOU, once signed, will pave the way for further negotiations with the United States government regarding the terms and conditions of our accepting any transferees of.
The bottom line, America twists all your hand behind all your back. You have no choice. And I'm telling you, it seems like they have no choice. They have to take. But just come out and say that. Right now, that person wearing the same shirt as me on. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
So those things will necessarily take into consideration the numbers, the provisions for hosting anyone we may choose to accept, and so on. Now, why did we consider this? We must recognize that we face several challenges in Grenada, one of which is a skills deficit in a number of critical areas. And so while that was not on our agenda, we considered that we might be able to turn it to some level of benefit for us if we can attract people who have the skills that we are currently lacking or that we have a deficit in our country. It is important to point out that we are under no obligation to take anyone that we do not wish to accept. No one can be forced on us. And as a matter of fact, even though we signed the MOU, if
nobody can be forced on you, why are you signing an MOU? Just say we ain't taking. Until you say last year, let's tell them all you ain't taking. Nobody could be forced on you, just don't take.
Do not fit the bill, as far as we are concerned, we are under no pressure, no obligation to accept them.
Oh, you're under no pressure. Mr. Andal. Bro, don't try that one. Come on. What do you mean you're under no pressure? Every Caribbean country that they have approached is under a lot of pressure. Let me explain something to you. And this one is simple common sense. So again, we wouldn't accuse you all at the cabinet. The present cabinet at Grenada, we will not accuse them of having, next thing they send 2 CID to my house again. Right? Yeah. So we are not accused. Yeah, they send 2 CID. We are not accusing them again of having any common sense. Right? We're not going to accuse them of that. Now listen to this. One, they ain't getting no medical record of anybody. The people might come here and need dialysis. The people might come here and be cancer patient. It could be all kind of thing. And you and me, our resources are going to end up having to be used on these individuals. Because contrary to what Mr. Andal is saying, the US, under human rights, all these other things, cannot provide them with any medical records of these people. Nonsense. And whilst, let's say the person was involved with a cartel and they are being deported from the United States because there's a suspicion, they use the fact that this person has breached the immigration law to deport them. So in the US, there is no criminal record on that individual. Let's say they came out from Mexico, one of the drug cartels in Mexico. So they live around the cartel people, they've been interacting with the cartel people, but the US federal government has no information that that person is actually a cartel member. But they've breached the immigration law and they said, we're sending you out of the country. Now, Mr. or Mrs. Cartel member says to them, I don't want to go back to Mexico because I know if I go back there, what can happen to me? So send me Grenada. Now, they have no criminal record in the US, but they may have a very lengthy criminal record in Mexico. Yeah? So they may reach in Grenada, and then you find out that while they're squeaky clean, record-wise, in the US, the country that they come from, the reason they can't go back there is because they have outstanding warrants for them. The reason that they can't go back there is because they were involved in criminal activity. Or maybe they were a pedophile, and they know if they go back in that country, what's going to happen to them? Or the country say, don't send them back. But they were a pedophile and found to be one while they were in the original country that they're from. But they have no criminal record in the United States. So you're talking about the criminal record. That's from the US. What about the criminal record where they're from? What if they were one in one of the European mafias? And that's the reason they don't want to be sent back to which other European country it is. And therefore they say, listen, I'll take it in Grenada. Nice beach, nice people, things, send me down there. And they end up down here in Grenada. How will you know that these people are not criminals in the original country that they came from? You see, that's the kind of nonsense that I say. I wouldn't accuse these people of having common sense because that's just common sense. Yeah? I'm getting some information here. The Memorandum of Understanding with Antigua States deportees, because that is what there is. Third-party nationals. Stop that nonsense. We know there's deportees. Clause 5 made it clear that the MOU will become operative on signature of both parties. Once the MOU is signed, it means that Grenada has agreed to accept deportees. Grenada did not sign on to Carriacou free movement of people, which is very strange because Grenada is not a signatory to the freedom of movement among Carriacou. In other words, that all Carriacou nationals could come to Grenada and just work. Within the OECS, we have our arrangement, but Carriacou, the wider body, so that Jamaicans, Barbadians, Haitians, Guyanese could just come and work without the need for a work permit and that kind of thing. Grenada hasn't signed on to the movement for free. So before, because we heard the Prime Minister today speaking about, it's a good opportunity for us to get skilled people from other places. And we could get skilled people from the US and so on, people who could do different things. and come into the country and so on. And I'll answer him on that in a little while, but that you could get skilled people into the country using that. Yeah, in fact, let me let you hear what he said there. Let me see. He said the MOU will be made public. I could tell you he said that, right? But he also said some other things here.
When these transferees arrive in Grenada, what will be their status here?
Pardon me. First of all, it's if and not necessarily when, because there must be agreement on our side, okay? But if and when they do arrive, they will have to be afforded the normal protections under international law. There is something referred to as the principle of non-refoulement, which simply means that people who are in a country other than their own must not be subjected to torture, to arbitrary treatment. They should not be discriminated against on the basis of race, religion, or on any other basis. And that is one of the things that led to our favorably considering ultimately the potential acceptance of such transferees, because obviously there are people for whom returning to their home country can even be deadly.
So why would returning to your home country be deadly? It has to be that you've been involved in something in your home country that you should not have been involved in. Yeah? And if it's deadly for them there, let's say the person became a witness against the mob or some kind of thing in their home country and they end up living in some part of the United States. You're sending them to Grenada for the mob to come and find them down here? Come on, man. At least try to make sense when you're talking. Please.
Under international law, they will be subjected to our domestic laws. And of course, the country sending them to us we will have assurances, we will have to have assurances, and not simply verbal assurance, but assurances demonstrated in tangible ways that the means to take care of their material well-being are provided.
So,
well, I want to perhaps also answer. I mean, when someone enters Grenada, there are only 3 statuses you can probably have. You're a visitor, temporary visitor, or you could be a resident, depending on the length of stay that is permitted, or you could be domiciled, depending on the length of stay that is permitted. So the same way in which someone who is coming to Grenada to work, for instance, may need to get a work permit, and if the period of the work is 6 months, 12 months, or it's for a single transaction, that person is viewed as a visitor with the right to work. Or if you are here for more than 6 months, generally 182 or 183 days, then you can have the right of being allowed to be temporarily resident. If someone is here more permanently, the Minister of Immigration has the right to also deem you as being a permanent resident. So it will all depend on the individual agreement that pertains to each individual person. At the end of the day, when the persons arrive in Grenada, they will be free to leave if they so wish. Right. So I think this is important to understand. We will treat the folks here, if we enter into specific contractual arrangements with them. So for example, if as part of the transfer we agree.
So let me ask you a question here. They are free to leave when they went. With what passport? With what passport? What travel documents? I'll come to the phone lines. I see it ringing, but let me deal with this first and then we will just take calls right through. Because I have a few to play. Yeah, and this one is kind of long too. So we'll take the calls right after. Love you all, but I'll take the calls in a little while, right? Yeah. What passports are these people going to use to leave Grenada? And remember, these people are being deported against their will. None of these people are people that want to leave the United States. They are being picked up and deported against their will. The United States has a right to do that. Same as Grenada have a right to deport people they don't want here. So the US is deporting these people to Grenada. Right. They get here. They obviously will not have United States travel documents. Let's just make that clear. They're not going to have a US passport or a US travel document, card or whatever it is. They will not have US travel documents except a one-way document to get them between the US and Grenada, if at all, but they will not have travel documents. So saying that they can leave Grenada whenever they're ready. How they're leaving, sir? What travel document they're using, sir? Are we giving them Grenadian passports? Or are these people suddenly stateless because they can't go back to the country that they come from, where obviously they can't go and get a passport because they can't go back there? That's the reason they're being sent here. So they can't go to another country because they can't go to the other country that they're from because they are not wanted there or they don't want to go there for whichever reasons. That's the first thing. So what travel documents are these people going to use when they have to leave Grenada? As you say, they could leave whenever they want. So they could leave whenever they want. Are you going to provide each and every one of them with Grenadian passports? Are they going to have Grenadian travel documents? Because they definitely will not be having US travel documents. You make the wrong move when you're passing through the airport, going back into the States right now, and let them notice you have a Grenadian passport. They're telling you straight sometimes they want to seize the US passport and telling you could only have one. So you think they're going to give people they deported? Third national stupidness. Deportees that they send in. You think that they're going to give these people American travel documents? Or can these people travel without documents? I don't know if it's astral travel they're traveling by. No, not the travel agency. I mean like actual astral travel. I don't know if they're traveling like that. Because otherwise they need documents to be able to leave the state of Grenada. Are you and your government going to provide these people with the requisite documents so that they can leave the state of Grenada? Simple question. I thought actually Kalishra might have asked that one. Kalishra, you slip on that one, girl. You hit him hard, but you slip on that one.
And if the duration of the work period is X and they agree to that, then we will expect them to hold up their end of the bargain. But just like all contracts, if they are not working, if they are not competent, then the arrangement will be terminated. They could leave if they so wish to. So it's important for us.
So the arrangement will be terminated. So they're coming in under an arrangement, and if the arrangement not working, it could be terminated. When it's terminated, explain to us, the Grenadian people, where you're deporting these people to. Because you're saying they could leave if they want to, so they could come under arrangement that they're supposed to work. If they ain't working, the arrangement, which is that they were allowed to enter Grenada to work, is terminated. When that is terminated, you're saying they could leave. What do you mean they could leave? How they leaving? What travel documents they using? How they getting out of Grenada? Or you mean they go watch St. Vincent and say, I prefer to go and live there? What travel documents are they using to leave Grenada? Or are they going to go and do the same thing they do with the States and enter St. Vincent illegally? Or go down south to Trinidad and enter illegally from Grenada, using Grenada as a transit point? You realize how these people just ain't making any kind of sense? Go ahead, sir. As I said, I'll come to the phone lines. I cannot interrupt this now. I'm going to come to the phone lines in a while.
Which makes me even more confused, Prime Minister, with your response.
Yes, Kalishra. All you have to agree with Madam Kalishra there. Kalishra, I'm more confused. Yes, Kalishra, the squinchy eye is like, what going on here? Kalishra, I agree with you. I confused.
These are not people who are willingly choosing to come and become residents or to be visitors or anything. They're being forcibly removed from a country that they attempted to make their home, to be domiciled, to work in. They're being thrown out. We're accepting them. They're free to leave. Leave to go where? Are we...
Well, I'm not even sure there's a question in there. So I want to be clear. And this is the
What do you mean there's no question inside here? Trying to disrespect Kalishra intelligence, sir? Wamp to you. She's making a valid point. How these people leaving if they want to leave?
right? We are not, in fact, we cannot compel them to stay in Grenada. And it's the nature of democracy. So, I mean, there's nothing to be confused about. If the country of choice is the US, well, you can't have a country of choice that you're not a citizen of. You could have a desire, you could have an aspiration, you could have a wish. If someone wishes to come to Grenada and they're not a citizen of Grenada, and Grenada says you're not permitted to come, well, what are you going to do? You're simply not permitted to come. You can go to some other place where you're accepted, and if you're accepted and you...
In short, you're saying that they're stuck here, and they may not be working. We're not clear on the all you can say all you want about medical and criminal. All you get no records in relation to that. Grenadians, mark my word, are not wishing bad on anybody, are just saying as it is. Face reality. They ain't getting no criminal record, they ain't getting no medical record. So who go end up having to pay for it? Me and you.
For your living or your livelihood, they're fine. But the mere fact that they may have an aspiration to be elsewhere where the environment is hostile, where you've been kept in a detention center, where you're not able to earn a living or do anything for yourself or your family, and there's an opportunity to go to another place where you can get a job, where you could earn money, where you may even be able to be integrated in the society or after a period of time accumulate wealth and go back to wherever you come from. That's a matter for them. But I mean, I'm not going to spend my time trying to get into the brain of a transferee to ascertain how they will feel about the fact that the country they want to go to doesn't want them in that country because they're not citizens of the country.
And so they can stay or they can leave.
Yes.
Are we now looking, have we already turned our attention to, we talk about skills gaps, have we done an audit? Are we looking at what our needs are? Have we gotten that far? And we're talking about the MOU paves the way for numbers to be decided on. Yeah. Do we know who we want, how much we want, and are we at that stage yet?
Well, I would say this, we already have general information as to the skills gaps and the shortages in Grenada and the challenges. We have the Ministry of Labour, which processes work permits on an ongoing basis. And so we have data that tells us which sectors of the Grenadian economy are requiring work permits the most and the areas that they are most needed. We have labour workforce surveys that are ongoing that tells us everything from the unemployment rate to the skill gaps and the shortages. We have our business community here who comes to us frequently either asking for large-scale waiver of work permits or reduced work permits based on particular areas. So we can just take construction industry, for example. I mean, as reporters, you guys can go out and interview the people who are doing construction work and they will tell you. Even from basic laborers, I'm not talking skilled here, basic laborers, it is difficult, in many instances, impossible to get. You can go to Carriacou and PT Martinique and ask them where the labor is coming from to rebuild their homes. It doesn't exist. So I could take one sector, just construction alone. Given what has happened since Hurricane Ivan, given what has happened with Hurricane Beryl, given with the fact that unfortunately we don't have trade schools in Grenada, which has significantly impacted the skill level that young men in particular come out with. We don't even have people to operate heavy equipment in Grenada, and it's one of some of the issues that we've been trying to address. We had to light the stadium, we had to import crane operators from St. Lucia. If you go to Reno at the St. David's Catholic School site, thankfully there's a young lady there who's a heavy equipment operator who went to the school. She explained that she studied in Trinidad and Tobago, and she's back and she's happy to help build the school that she went to. But there are very few women, for example, who operate heavy equipment in Grenada. Very few men. The contractors are telling you they can't even get drivers to drive the SL trucks. So this is a major issue. I mean, 2 Saturdays back, I was at the St. David's Catholic Secondary School site and the contractor said he needs 30 people. Can you find them for me? Right? So this is a situation that is ongoing. So I'm simply making the point of saying if we were saturated with high rates of unemployment and,
So according to the Prime Minister, we really don't have that. So we could bring people in, more people, yeah, bring them in, yeah. Remember, Grenada is not signatory to the CARICOM freedom of movement in relation to skilled workers. Whereas we could have been getting people to do these jobs from all the other islands and living and working here in Grenada and so on. We're not signatory to that. While we have our own OECS arrangement, on the CARICOM level, we do not have that right now. And instead of signing on to the CARICOM skills program, movement of skilled people's program, instead of doing that, say now we go take the people from the United. So don't take the people from our own region. Let we go and take people from elsewhere. Yeah. That making sense, yeah? Let me see. Only Barbados, Belize, Dominica, and St. Vincent agreed to free movement of CARICOM nationals. So let's go over that list again. Barbados, Belize, Dominica, and St. Vincent. They are the only ones that agreed to free movement of CARICOM nationals. Grenada is not signatory. But instead of signing on to that and getting people from the other CARICOM nations, you're saying, let these people come. I know somebody come from Trinidad, you could get a criminal record, you could get everything. Barbados, Dominica, St. Kitts, the same thing. But when it comes to these people coming from some country down in the Middle East or one, you can't get it. Yeah? You cannot get that. So, I mean, I'm just trying to understand where he's coming from, because I know that he's speaking of an issue that was being addressed by the New National Party there. But again, he wouldn't say that. Folks, hold on the phone lines. I'll come to the phone lines eventually. You'll get your opportunity to talk. I'm staying here until 10:30, yeah? So, he's speaking about an issue that the New National Party was addressing. Yeah? I wonder if I could find any on that, boy, on that. Because remember, the New National Party had the Empower program. Under the Empower program that the NNP had, there was training for people in driving heavy equipment, in things like construction, surveying. Some of the same areas that he's speaking about is what we were training people in Empower in. So in 2020, 2022, 2021, the NNP was training young, in fact, is ABC Construction was the name of the construction company, where some of the guys were working, learning to drive some of the smaller heavy equipment. And they were getting their CVQ, their Caribbean Vocational Qualification. You know, let me call somebody there. I got to call somebody, you know. I go call them. They better answer when I call too, you know. I will call somebody. But then Peter say, call them, call somebody. Yeah, I will call somebody. Let me see if I can find them here who might be able to explain it better than me. Because when it comes to that, one of the things that were being done is that you had young people that were being trained in different areas of construction, because you saw that there was a problem before where you were not getting people to be able to fill certain positions. Yeah? So you had to do that. Let me see if I get a good friend of mine here. Let me see. What's that name again? All right, you. Yeah, you. You have to answer the phone when we call, you know. Yeah, when I call NNP answer. Yeah, let me see if I get a good friend of mine that might be able to explain it a little better than me. And I have videos and I can show where those people were doing training and so on. I think I have a good friend of mine on the line. Hello, good night.
Mr. Scott, good night. How you do?
Good night to you, Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters. I like to give all of them like others get Kamishion.
Oh, Lord. Let me say good night to your Talking Point family viewers and listeners as well.
Yes, ma'am. No, I just was listening to something there where the Prime Minister was speaking about skills training, and that they're looking at doing some skills training. They're looking at doing some now, eh? Remember,
No.
Empower was doing this thing. You were the person leading this along with Senator Cox.
Yes.
Empower.
Yes.
And what are some of the areas that people train? Because you're saying that you can't find people to drive them big truck. You can't find people to operate the equipment and to do different jobs in the construction sector.
Yeah.
So they're going to do some training now to get these people. Tell me what Empower was doing.
Right. So in 2018, we launched the first cohort of our Empower program.
Mm-hmm.
And from 2018 up to 2022 election, we had up to batch 3. And what we wanted to do was to train these young men in areas that we know there were a skills gap in. So they were trained in a variety of areas at the CVQ level, from level 1 up to level 4. There were a few of them who got up to level 4 training. And they were training areas such as property maintenance, heavy machine operation, construction, plumbing, electrical engineering, a wide variety of areas. Those who were interested in the commercial food preparation, because we know we had the hotel industries developing at the time and so forth while we were in government. So they were trained in areas within the construction industry, preparing them for the different jobs that would have been available. So it's difficult to believe or to understand that we have such a wide skills gap at this time. What should have happened is there should have been a call for the young men who are trained in those areas. Maybe they need retraining or maybe they need upskilling. But there are young men out there. Um, I've also heard the mention that our young people there's a call for laborers and they cannot find them. I have been speaking to a lot of the young men and I'm asking them what is the real truth behind this. And they would tell you that some of the reasons why they are not taking up this type of employment is because the salary is very low. The working hours are not compensated for properly, and they just find the situation is not suitable for them. I do encourage them to walk along with it because you know how we were brought up. Something
Take what
is
you could
better than
get. Hmm.
yes, take what you get and walk your way
Until you
through
get
till
what
you
you
get
want.
what yeah, but their mindset is not as how we our mindset was, and we try to encourage them. But to say that they are um, not taking up the jobs, or maybe they don't have enough available, there are young men out there who have the skills. They can be retrained, they can be upskilled, and they can be a call. Put out a call for them. They have their CVQs because we train them on hundreds of young men. Just check from 2018 to 2022, over 200, 300 in some cases trained, certified at the CVQ level. So they're out there.
And I remember that they had I think some had CVQ level 1, I think some went above that. So all that had to be
Yes,
done was re-engagement of these young fellas, because I remember some of
re-engage.
them driving the bobcat. I remember specifically seeing a video,
Yes,
and I was
yes,
searching for
they
that
know.
video of the young man
I
driving
would
the
have to
bobcat.
look for it. I would have to
Yeah.
look for it as well and see if I can send it to you because we did
Hmm.
both under the Empower and under the ACE. They did that type of training. The ACE was the actively committed empowered youth program that we did specifically in the community of Moncton because of it was being identified as a high risk community at the time. So we did that program there to try and engage the young men to get them on a more positive path and they can be skilled to take up opportunities that would present themselves. So we did our part, and all the government has to do right now is to continue training the young men. I heard that they continue the Empower program, but we have not heard much as to what type of training they have done with them. We have heard issues that the young men some are dropping out because they are not receiving their stipend, and that stipend is so important because it pays the transportation to and from the training location. It helps them with meals on a daily basis, and these things are so important. So if they are not given those things on time or not at all, they will drop out. And remember, I remember asking when I was making my budget presentation, what is the reason for such high dropout in those programs, the few programs that they decided to continue? But to say that they are not skilled young men out there, they are. Because we have trained them up to the CVQ level, the opportunity has to be presented to them to take it up.
And that's the thing. If they had continued what was being done and upskilled those that had received the first levels of training and then brought in new cohorts of young men into the same structure, they wouldn't be talking about we had to send another country to get fellas to drive SL truck and people to use heavy equipment. We can't find them in Grenada. You'd have had enough because there was a strategy and a plan by the NNP.
And, yes, we had a clear strategy because we had identified the skills gap based on a survey that was done prior. So we know the areas that we were targeting. If, as you said, if they had continued it, but still, I believe there are a lot of young men who are not engaged at this time. They can be given the opportunity to learn the skill. You just have to make it more attractive for them, and they would be happy for that opportunity, I'm sure, because they're telling you when you're out in the field, lots of young men like I was out today, and you see the large gathering of young men at a particular gambling site, and they're telling me, Kate, we're just looking for it. We're just looking for it. They don't have no money. No money is not circulating, and that is the easiest thing for us. But we have to find a way to engage them in a more positive way so that they can, as you said, develop the skills for the jobs that we have within our country.
And then on top of the young men that you all brought in from some of the communities, there was also the Empower started in the prisons, because I realized in 2022, this administration made it look like they started Empower in the prison. But Empower
No.
was started in the prisons way back in, what, 2020, 2019? Somewhere around there?
2019. Sheldon, the records are clear, and the records would show. We have documentation, we have photo documents of all of these things where we went into the prison and we trained the incarcerated young men there, because we wanted to ensure that when they when they get out of prison, the rate of recidivism does not increase. We wanted to reduce the rate at which they would return and to prevent them from returning. But sometimes coming from prison, it is difficult to fit in society. So we went there and we brought the Empower there to them, and they were trained at the prison in different aspects as well. They received skills training in the commercial food preparation. They were doing small agriculture and so forth. So when they came out, they could be self-employed, or they could fit in comfortably within society and find employment.
And
so
then there's the part where the ministry actually provided equipment to these young people at the end of the training in many instances.
At the end of the training, and I have all the videos, all the photos, to show that we did that, because sometimes they believe that if you don't have the photos, you don't have the videos, it was not done. So we do have it. And I can always find it, because one of the things, I'm known for is sharing what was done at our time within the Ministry of Youth. So yes, they were provided with equipment, whatever materials they needed to start and to sustain their own businesses. We did that because we did not want to graduate them from the program and they went looking for a small loan, which might have been difficult for them. So we gave them the start so that they can create their own employment and also employ others. Yes.
Honorable,
So-
I want to keep you too long tonight, because I know just now go hear him in the background.
yes, I'm away from him. He's a big boy now. He turned 3 earlier this month, and how things go with them. But I will always be willing to come onto the program to explain some of the things we did within the Ministry of Youth, because at this time I could tell you how disappointed I am that they're not engaging serious level, serious sustainable engagement for our young people is not there. And while you're out there, you're meeting them and they're disappointed. But at least they have the hope and the belief that the NMP will be returned to government and they would get another fair chance at empowering themselves so that they can be good citizens for our country.
All right. Sister Kate, thank you so very much, my dear. And I know right now Tito and Kemita and all of them jumping up. Me MP. So,
I must big up Tito and Kemita and all the St. Andrew Northeast posse. They always rallying with me, rallying for me, and we continue to work together to ensure that St. Andrew Northeast remains strong in the house of the NMP.
all right, Sister Kate, thank you so very much. And we will be talking very soon. I have to start back the Zoom meetings with different caretakers and candidates and MPs and so on. I have to do that. So I setting up differently. So I will be starting that next week. We will be starting. So I'll be giving you some information for when we need you on.
Okay,
All right,
no
thank
problem.
you so very much. All right,
night
my
to him.
dear. I'll say good night to him for me.
I'll do that.
All right, good. Thank you. Yes, indeed, folks. Sister Kate Skeeter Lois Peters. Yeah, and you know something? Let me show you something here. Let me just move this here, boy. Yeah, I had to kind of move this thing here. Nice. Once I move that, let me show you something, Dana, man. I can only say, wait, what going on here? Oh, wrong mouse. Yeah, don't worry, Ollie. I'll come to the phone. Oh, some people on the phone lines. I'll come to the phone line. Don't worry. Or if I not taking it right. This is on the Ministry of Youth. Yeah, the Ministry of Youth page. This was what? The launch of Empower in Carriacou. That was Carriacou? Right. That was back in March, 12th of March 2020. When you had some of the young men that came in there, look, Mr. Norman Gilbert, right? Yes, Mr. Williams, right? That was in 2020. Let me go back and let me look through again and see what we could see. All right, yeah, let me see. This was them dealing with what now? What were the young people dealing with here? Let me get us some volume and yeah. Come.
So, Mr. Darrell David, our former Empower participant, our Empower division within the Ministry of Youth, has decided to continue assisting you further to move your business forward. So today here we're presenting you with 2 Empower masks, and that's for safety as you deal with your customers. And also to help market your business, we have these business cards here. Okay? This will help you to market your business when you come in contact with people. We give them one so they can get all your business information to contact you. We are also happy to present to you one of the signs so that your business can stand out. So it can be easily seen by the public while they're moving. You can also promote it via different platforms, especially the social media platform. And today from the ministry.
And folks, so this is one young person in agriculture. Let me show you some more. No, I showing all you. Yeah, because apparently the Prime Minister don't know about this program and that he could be using that program to fill that skills gap that he's speaking about. Instead of just yapping, he could be filling the gap in. Nice, yes.
That's no on the block and doesn't have anything to do to show them that they have a future ahead.
I find this is a really good thing, and anyone who really want to see their life go further, they should try it.
Let me see if there's anybody else talking in this one. Nice. Let me see what they're talking about. Nice. They're just showing some of the stuff that the guys do there.
Is monitoring the progress of the grantees. Now, as you know, they would have received their grant funds. So we're out here just monitoring the progress to see the items that they would have received, to making sure that they're in place, and to see whether they would require any further assistance under the.
Well, we don't hear nothing about youth biz and them thing again. Yeah. I wonder who's this one now. Yeah, we're going through because they want to, and we playing it from the page. Nah, this one is the same thing. Nice, right? Now we ain't going there. Let me see this one here. Another Empower testimony. Whose testimony in there? Right, nice, yeah. Let's see if we can hear him. Oh, there, that's what I did.
My name is Kenneth Judy and I love landscaping. It's something that I'm passionate about and it gives me a daily income. I got involved in landscaping after Empower, and I would love to encourage the other youths to get involved too.
And that's just some no it have video, you know, in case the Prime Minister don't know, you could direct him to where to go and find the thing, you understand? Yeah, you could direct him. So NNP was providing training in skilled areas. So instead of taking the approach that we need to take these people, you could have been training your own people.
And I do any work from construction to carpentry, anything in the engineering field. And I have been given these tools from the Empower program to further my skills and my job and to learn more things also.
Yeah, oh God, all the music loud by, oh God. But these are just some of the people who were involved in Empower. Let me see if I could get, let me see if we could hear a little bit from small man here. Let me see, hear what he said?
Yes, I don't want to be last. So when I pass, tell me who could laugh. I look better than diamonds in a glass. I keep my self-esteem high, off the charts. I learned that in empowerment class.
See, because you are doing personal empowerment classes with the young folks that were in it, and they're doing like if they that start at the prison and
55 inmates at Her Majesty's Prison are set to benefit from the Empower project. The project was launched on Thursday, 2nd July 2020 at Her Majesty's Prison. This is a collaboration between the Ministry of Youth Development, Sports, Culture and the Arts and Her Majesty's Prison. The Empower project is a training project conceptualized to specifically target young males ages 18.
So you all understand. I don't have to go through all of it. All of it is online. In case they want to say that what we're saying is not true, we could prove it online. Yeah, you could hear from all of the young men what they were doing.
And also a participant of the Empower program.
Yeah, so we have these young men that were trained, and well, young men that were trained in various areas. So whether they were artists, whether they were mixing music, all that sort of thing, and equipment was given to these young people, yes, so that they could carry on what they had to do. And I know I've gone off a bit on a tangent on that, because when it comes to youth development, you know me. It's just to say the Prime Minister talking nonsense. One, he has two options. If he wants to fill the skills gap that he's claiming exists in Grenada, one, train up your own people to be able to fill those gaps. Don't just leave fellas and think the only thing they could be is a laborer. Yeah? That's the only thing they can be. When these guys could go and train to operate heavy machinery and so on, what are they doing right now? We could show what NNP was doing. What are they doing right now to take these young men, and even young ladies too, and train them to operate the heavy machinery or even the medium weight machinery? Because during the NNP time, they were teaching them to operate the bobcat and one or two other pieces of machinery, and so working with construction companies, they had them doing the different things. I'll get the video and I'll put the video up one of these nights. But just to let you know, he's talking nonsense. Yeah? You know what? Let me take one or two calls before I go any further into tonight's program. I'm opening the phone lines now, because I see some people calling right through. I'm opening the phone lines now, and I know it might take a minute or two before some people get before some people hear that. So somebody's calling now. Let me get the phone line now. Hello, good night. Hello. Hello, good night. Hi.
Good night, and how are you?
Ade.
Well, I decided I wasn't going to put down that phone at all. I decided I wasn't going to put down the phone.
But you know, if I'm playing videos,
Sheldon.
me inside.
I waited. Sheldon, we need to get something straight. A deportee and a transferee is two different things, Sheldon.
Exactly.
A deportee is a person who is formally removed by a government from its territory to another country across national border, usually due to immigration violations or criminal behavior. Okay? A transferee, a person who is forced to move from the residence to another location within the same country. A transferee could also be somebody who receives assets or possession from another person who is the transferor. That is it. Deportee, transferee. I listened to the Prime Minister, and I still don't grab or understand what he's saying. Somebody visiting Grenada, somebody coming into Grenada, is either a citizen, a national, or a visitor of Grenada. A national, well, the person could be a national and a citizen at the same time. They're born in Grenada. We have citizens, persons who obtain citizenship, they become Grenadians. A visitor is someone who is not a Grenadian and is visiting Grenada. We must get these things clear. Now, a national or citizen of Grenada would hold a Grenada passport. A visitor would come in with a passport from the country of origin, the country of birth. Okay? When a visitor comes in, the immigration officer uses he or her discretion as to the amount of time given to that visitor to stay. If the visitor upon arrival does not meet the requirements, that visitor is not allowed to enter the state, and so they are refused entry. Point blank. A Grenadian coming in, once you're a Grenadian, you're returning home, and that's it. If you come in with a foreign passport as a Grenadian, again, the immigration officer uses his or her discretion. On that foreign passport, your place of birth would be Grenada. Now, a visitor coming to Grenada and wants to remain or stay in Grenada. Now, upon arrival, if that visitor is given 2 months upon arrival and that visitor wants to stay longer, that visitor must seek extension from the immigration department. To become a permanent resident of Grenada, you must be living in Grenada for at least 2 years. To get citizenship as a Grenadian, you must be outside of the CBI people. You must be living in Grenada for at least 5 years. Permanent residence, person obtaining permanent residence in Grenada cannot obtain a Grenada passport. You become a citizen of Grenada, you can apply for and obtain a Grenada passport. So I don't know what the Prime Minister is talking about it. These transferees he's referring to, what travel document are they coming with? What travel document are they coming with?
And I think that's what Kalisha Faria was trying to get at, you know. When she's asking these questions about when you're leaving. So how are you leaving?
When they're leaving, what travel document they're coming with? And when they're leaving, what travel document they're leaving with?
And let's say Grenada has a problem with them and you decide you're going to deport them. Where are you deporting them to? You can't send them back to the US and their home country is refusing receipt of them. Do these people end up in limbo?
I would conclude on that,
All right.
The Prime Minister stated that he should have read more. Well, I'm saying you have a lot of reading to do. Sheldon, good night.
All right, my dear. Thank you. Yes, indeed, folks. 1473-440-7377. That is the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. I know, okay, now, we've got a call online. Hello, good night. Good night, caller.
Hey, Sheldon, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm great, man. I'm not in sub-zero temperatures, so I'm good.
I know you. Well, it's so good that Florida is 30 degrees tonight. It's cold here now. But the key thing I'm calling to talk to you about, what everybody is not paying attention to, the people that is being deported came into the United States. There were underground people operating here. There's no documentation on them. So that's the first thing. Then there's no health records on them at all. So where are they going to get medical records for them? Where are they going to get documentation for them? Okay? For them to hand over to the government of Grenada. There's no such thing. These are undocumented people, most of them. Yes, there are some people that
they are undocumented. So you can't find documents.
There's no documentation. Okay, so that's the key point right there. There's no documentation. So now you dump a bunch of people in Grenada that has no documentation. How is Grenada gonna originate some kind of documentation for them, whether it's some piece of ID or whatever? So there's no movement for them to get out of Grenada to go anywhere. you know, that's the same thing that happened in El Salvador the other day. And El Salvador, you know what happened the other day, 2 weeks ago? They had a big uprising in that prison in El Salvador, and they killed a bunch of the security guards and all that kind of stuff.
I heard a bit about that, yeah.
Okay,
The
so
MS-13
it's not that easy. That stuff that they're talking about, and then the other crazy thing that they're talking about with that document, they're saying that it's a what? It's a non-provisional. How are you going to sign something that?
Once you sign an MOU, there are certain aspects of it that will be binding. So I don't know what they're talking about.
Right. So you can't be signing. Look, let me share with you. In the United States, I'm an accountant. We deal with contracts. Contracts is what accountants deal with. You can't tell me you're signing a contract that don't have no backing or no support or anything behind it. Once you sign something, and then the thing about it, they're playing games with it, and this is why Grenadians is having problems right now with the visa problem, because of the games the Grenadian government is playing with America. You can't play with somebody like Donald Trump. He's a crazy. Look what he did in Venezuela.
But let me ask you a question, my friend, because you've been following not just Grenada news, you've been following what they've been saying on the various platforms about this issue. Do you, and the other listeners who are listening now and viewing now, do you all not remember that the Prime Minister said that they're taking an OECS approach to this? It's not going to be a Grenada approach, but it's going to be an OECS approach that they are going to have. All of the countries are working together in relation to how they respond to the United States. Yet still you have others saying they signed MOU and so already. And now Grenada, after they discussed in cabinet, as he said, they discussed it in cabinet that they are going to sign an MOU with the US. So like the OECS approach dead, that ain't going through.
The OECS sound dead. But the thing about it, again, and I wrote something to you tonight and so forth. I said, these people don't understand the things that they're saying on air. The whole world is looking at them, and they look stupid from half of the things they're saying. But sometimes Deacon Mitchell needs to stop and think, because he's supposed to be somebody that have a law degree, but he's making that university in Trinidad, that, you know, the Hugh Gooden Law School, he's making them look stupid. Like he maybe purchased that thing instead of went to school, or he had somebody do his work for him, because you sound stupid. He doesn't sound like he's an attorney. He sounds real dumb with some of the shit he's talking about.
But let me tell you, I wouldn't say that he's dumb. I think that he thinks he's smarter than the average bear. So I believe that he has quite a bit of intelligence. But what I believe the problem is, he believes he could outsmart the whole of Grenada. So he believes when he talk these kind of things, that he could easily just fool people. So he could say that and everybody go believe, yeah, the Prime Minister said so and so. No, that ain't the case, bro.
It's just like another thing I have been trying not to say too much, but it keep on, it just gets under my skin when he uses that word. He went to Presentation Boys College. I went to GBSS.
Well, all you have all your water.
I went to Heinz School, Anglican High School in St. George's. In English language, person is singular, more than one is people. Why the hell he go on the world stage, on the United Nations, and use that word persons? There's no such word.
I ain't taking part in that one, nah. We have our local way we say things, our own dialect. We have our own dialect, so we say things in a different way.
We all have dialects, but when you get on the world stage, you have to know how to make yourself. You have to be presentable, and you're talking to people of different calibers and so forth. Make yourself look.
Man,
come on.
I'm going in the UN and I'm saying, hey, everybody good? What going on inside here? Everybody okay?
Anyway, you have a good night, man. It's a pleasure talking to you tonight.
You have a good one, bro. Yes, indeed. Yeah, folks are going in the UN and are talking just so everybody inside here good. Hey, bring some water for that man. That man ain't no water. They bring water for him. Yes, folks, it does seem like I get into the other issue. I know I'm 10:30. I'm going to finish at 10:30 tonight. Just letting you all know because some folks are trying to call, and I just want to give the folks who are trying to call the opportunity to have their say in relation to these issues before I raise the last issue I want to raise for tonight. Yeah? But they're fooling none of us with this kind of thing. And then he said that we're going to see the MOU. So I know my lawyer friends waiting. I know the legal fraternity waiting. We want to see the MOU. Yeah, you're going and sign the MOU. And you say we're going to get to see the MOU, so we're waiting. I don't know if members of the media got it already, or I don't know if they will get it, but you say we go see the MOU. Yeah, you have these problems. Imagine you're saying that you're bringing nurses from Ghana, but you have housing issues in Grenada. We have a waiting list of over 6,000 applications with the not the Ministry of Housing, the Housing Authority right now. Over 6,000 applications for the apartments that were constructed during the reign of the new National Party by the Chinese. Over 6,000 applications. Right? And it means that you cannot fulfill that housing need. Even if they had built the 500 houses a year that they claimed they would build, and up to now we ain't seen bow. They could not fulfill that, but they had to find housing now for the Ghanaians when they come. Instead of you train your own people to go and be the nurses. But anyhow, we have a call online. Hello, good night.
Hello, Sheldon.
Geezer.
Geezer, yeah.
How you doing, bro?
How you doing?
I'm great, man.
Right. Good. Right. I just want you all your people and Grenada to understand something. When it comes to Donald Trump, right, and he's sending all these people over to your country, it's happening over here as well. Now, what it's happening is that when they send, I don't know if you've seen, it might be a good idea for people to look at and Google what's happening in the UK. So when, say, for instance, we've been having a lot of boats, people coming in on the boats, and what's happening is that we've been upraided. Yeah?
Go
Can
right
you hear
ahead.
me?
Yeah, go right ahead, yeah.
Yeah,
just
so
checking
what's
something
happening
somebody
is that we had the last government actually made an appointment, a contract with Rwanda, and it cost us £300 million plus.
Oh, remember that one? That's when you all were supposed to send the deportees over to Rwanda instead, yeah. I remember that one.
That's correct. Right, so what's happened is when Labour came in, they cancelled it. So we have just lost £300 million plus. Now the Rwanda is now trying to sue the British government because they cancelled it and they didn't tell them. So that's another £50 million.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening is that all these guys are coming over on the boats and they're getting all freebies. That means they're getting healthcare, money, and housing and everything else. So when they get deported, you only get one a bit of paperwork, just a temporary bit of paperwork to send them back to, or send them to another country. So when they come to you in Grenada, they'll have just one bit of paper just to say, right, because they have to have one bit of paper to get from the United States through Grenada. So now you lot, everybody in Grenada, right, listen very carefully, you lot are going to be paying for it. So that means you're going to be putting them up for accommodation, money, healthcare, clothes, the whole shebang. In the UK, we've actually protested. So I don't know why your people, right, need to protest to this government, to your government, to state this is not right, because in these other countries, right, they're sending these people over to these over to you. They will have criminal records. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you've seen it in the news, and I think it's better for you lot to have a look at. In Epping, in Essex, there was a guy who came over on the boats and he raped a young girl. All right, there was up in arms about it, the whole shebang. So I think you Grenadans have to, how can I put it to you, protest over it, because you don't know what's going to happen with these people coming in. You're going to have criminals, rapists, fraudsters, the whole shebang. So you're going to have a lot of problems, right, like we are actually at the moment, because we are having serious problems. And now the government is decided to open an army base to put all these, some of these guys in, right? It's costing us millions, and I mean millions and millions and millions of pounds just to put these up. They put them up in 5-star hotels, right? 5-star hotels. They're giving them money to go to taxis, to go to appointments. Every single thing, we, taxpayer, are actually paying for it. And these are the guys who are coming on the boats, and we've had, it's nearly, I would say, 200,000 people who come over to this country, approximated, right? And they're getting everything. I don't mind people coming into my country or any country if they do it properly. But with these governments and your government, and I can guarantee you, he's got money from Donald Trump. I can guarantee it. Because this is what's happened in the UK.
But he did
said, right.
He did say today that they will not be taking these folks unless they receive financial assistance, both himself and the minister.
That's right. They're going to get money from the UK government, from the United States.
Per person.
Per person. Now, to send somebody from the UK to Rwanda, just an example, just for one person is £150,000. Just for one person. So you think how much it's going to cost your country to keep these people in your country. And remember, yes, they will have passports. Eventually they will have citizenship. They will have permanent residency. So I personally think you people, your countrymen, have to demonstrate and state that at the end of the day, you can't allow this to happen. And I'm serious, because we're having problems over here that we have rapists. They're already raping. You see it, or you can Google it. Anybody can Google it on the UK. Newspapers, BBC, the whole shebang. Have a look, because I'm telling you now, and I'm going to be serious, you lot are going to have some serious problems. And you've got to put them up in accommodation. What about your unemployed people? What about your homeless people? At the end of the day, who come first? They come first, not people coming from another country. So when they send it over to you, right, they're going to be living in luxury, mate. And there's poor people in your country who needs help more. Now, I can tell you now, straight away, you'll need to sort it out.
Yes, indeed.
All right?
My brother, thank you so
and
very
I'm serious,
much.
And I'm very serious. People, please, demonstrate, look at Google it up, what happened in the UK. You will see there are protests every single week over it. And I'm telling you now, you lot are going to have some serious problems. Okay. You're going to have rapists coming in and burglars and druggies and you name it.
It is now minutes to 10, even though I'm going to 10:30. But there's another issue I want to get on to right now before I run out of time.
All right,
my friend,
I'll speak to you another time.
Thank you so very much for your call, though.
Okay, Governor.
Right, thank you so very much. Yes, indeed.
Bye.
And imagine that listener. It's probably, what time is it in the UK right now? Oh boy, yeah. Oh yeah, I just had it. Yeah, it's what time in the UK now? It is actually minutes to 2. It's nearly 2 o'clock in the UK right now, and he's up listening to Talking Points along with many other people. My good friend Irvin and many other folks, they're up listening to this program right now. But I want to pivot. As I said, I'm going for additional half hour. because I think it's important that I deal with this one tonight, because we might have other things we want to deal with. The way things going right now, we go have other things we want to deal with tomorrow night, and I may not get the chance to roll back to this particular one. It was very interesting for me today to listen to the Prime Minister speaking about that River Road project. Very, very interesting to hear him speaking about that River Road project. All of a sudden I find, anyway, hear it for yourself.
Ravages of the incoming sea. The St. John's River Road project, or the St. John's River project, more commonly known as the River Road project. This was also a flood mitigation project geared towards solving the persistent issue of flooding along the River Road area between the Mongay Steels Automotive Green Bridge and the mouth to the St. John's River when you exit beyond the National Stadium. There have been 7 phases to the project. Phase 1 to 4, which is the river training works, that has been completed. Phase 5 and 6 involve the Humback Bridge and what is called the Steels Bridge, which takes you to the Steels Automobile Company. We have not yet been able to address the 2 bridges because there's been several technical discussions back and forth about the appropriateness of the type of bridges and whether we need 2 as opposed to 1.
How come we reached whether we need 2 or 1 and the type of bridges? This is the individual tell us the bridges in Grenada already. The same man who talking there. He told us that the 2 bridges are already in Grenada. It's just to go and build the thing to put them up. Now he telling us there's some further discussion about the type of bridges, and in other words, there were no bridges here in the first place. He lied. Let me take it back a little bit and we hear him talking about the bridges again, man, because I want to believe. Oh boy.
We have not yet been able to address the 2 bridges because there's been several technical discussions back and forth about the appropriateness of the type of bridges and whether we need 2 as opposed to 1. The ministry will provide an update on this in a month or so.
Not sure it's on the ministry. We want to hear from you. You're the one that came to us and tell us that you had 2 bridges sit down there.
Several technical discussions back and forth about the appropriateness of the type of bridges and whether we need 2 as opposed to 1. The ministry will provide an update on this in a month or so, as we will have to make a final decision as to whether we do both bridges or we do only 1, and other technical questions as to whether the road will have to be lifted as a result of changes to the bridges.
And remember, this is since 2022, in 2026 now, and he's still telling us this about the River Road project. Since 2022, we are now in 2026. And he now telling us they're now discussing the work in relation to the bridges.
The road itself is the 7th phase, and that is yet to be completed. I have given instructions.
People more than know the road is not completed. Pothole for Sowing River Road.
For us to proceed with, in fact, the repairs and renovation to the roads and in the River Road area, and we expect this to commence in the first quarter of 2026. Of course, this is always subject to the availability of asphalt, because that's one of the main challenges we face on the island, and to having a competent contractor who can do the road renovation.
Just say you want to give Renault the contract to do the River Road. Now, just say that you want to give Renault the contract to do the River Road. Just say that.
And reinstatement. Having said that, though, we also...
Yeah, we're really interested in the rest you have to say there right now, because lies upon lies upon lies. Because remember, folks, this is the same individual that stood up in Parliament and told us that they already have the bridges for that project, yeah? He told us that. Not me say, he said. And I'll tell you the exact date. He said it on, let me get it here, I'll get it again. It is the sitting at the House of Representatives on the 26th of March 2024. This is 2026 we're in right now. In 2024, the Prime Minister had this to say to us. Yeah? He had this to say to us.
Priority. I had said previously that the quotation we got for constructing 2 concrete buildings was in excess of $30 million. And yes, in excess of $30 million. And in those circumstances, unless there was absolutely no other alternative, but those 2 bridges we obviously had to find ways to ensure that we were getting value for money. I'm happy to report to the member for the town of St. George that in fact there are alternatives. And some of the alternatives are perhaps in keeping with some of the more aesthetically historic and pleasing features that the area of River Road has. You know, we have a historic green bridge there which should really be preserved and turned into something rather than sitting rotting. But we have procured, Mr. Speaker.
So it's down for a further 2 years rotting, eh? But anyway, let me hear what you say about procured and all kind of thing there.
Rotting, but we have procured, Mr. Speaker, 2 steel bridges at a fraction of the cost. The bridges are in fact on the island. They've been shut and sitting rotting, but we have procured, Mr. Speaker, 2 steel bridges at a fraction of the cost. The bridges are in fact on the island. They've been sitting rotting, but we have procured, Mr. Speaker, 2 steel bridges at a fraction of the cost. The bridges are in fact on the island. They've been shipped, they've arrived, and sitting rotting. But we have procured, Mr. Speaker, 2 steel bridges at a fraction of the cost. The bridges are in fact on the island. They've been shipped, they've arrived. The designs for the abutments of the bridges are more or less completed.
So the design that you're talking about, they need to go and do now. In March the 26th, 2024, he stand up in Parliament and said the designs what? The same designs he just telling us need to be completed or no?
The designs for the abutments of the bridges are more or less completed. We expect that the design review process will take place. And once it commences, then the time frame for in fact installing the bridges will be reduced significantly, because as opposed to actually having to build a concrete bridge, which will take a significant time, you are actually building just the abutments and the assembly. So rest assured, MP for the town of St. George, we appreciate the need.
You see why you can't trust this individual? This is the same man that talking about the same project. Let me pull it back up. This is the same man that talking about that same project today. 2 years later, the same individual is speaking about the same project, and this is what you see why he does have to listen to talking points.
Ravages of the incoming sea.
Right. That's why he does
The
have to
St.
listen
John's
to talking
River Road
points.
project, or the St. John's River project, more commonly known as the River Road project. This was also a flood mitigation project geared towards solving the persistent issue of flooding along the River Road area between the Mongay Steels Automotive Green Bridge and the mouth to the St. John's River when you exit beyond the National Stadium. There have been 7 phases to the project. Phase 1 to 4, which
Yeah, we go skip through
there have
that.
been several technical discussions back and forth about the appropriateness of the type of bridges and whether we need 2 as opposed to 1.
But they already had the bridges on March of 2024. This is the same individual tell you they already have the bridges. The design is complete. They're just reviewing the design, and in a short order, they just have to put up the abutments. In other words, they have to put up the placeholders for the bridge and just rest the bridge down on that, and everything done. That was him speaking in March of 2026. This is him speaking now about the same 2 bridges 2 years later.
Been able to address the 2 bridges because there's been several technical discussions back and forth about the appropriateness of the type of bridges and whether we need 2 as opposed to 1. The ministry will...
And whether we need 2 as opposed to 1. And he said they already bought and already in Grenada 2 bridges. That 2 bridges were already bought and in Grenada. So if you buy the 2 already, steel bridges, you have them in Grenada, they're here. How much did you pay for them to have them here to then realize that you don't need the 2 of them? How much was paid for them? Can they be used elsewhere? Or are they not suitable for use there or anywhere? Because you say you not only bought them, but you have them here. That's why they will never like me.
In a month or so, as we will have to make a final decision as to whether we do both.
Well, 2 years ago you tell us just now, so we still waiting to see. 2 years ago you said to us that we will get the thing just now. The people at River Road, them people who lose their vehicle and all kind of thing, they're still waiting to hear what is going to take place in relation to that.
There were
This is you.
essentially 3 remaining.
This is you in the 19th, on the 19th of November 2024. This is you now.
Project, the 2 bridges, which is the Humpback Bridge and the bridge located to Steels Auto Supplies, which have to be constructed anew, and then the entire road was required to be paved. I'll be honest with you, in light of what I've seen, I don't know that merely having 2 new bridges and repaving the road is going to address the flooding that we're facing at River Road. And I don't know that building a 200-foot...
Remember, by that point in time, the 2 bridges were already bought and on island, because in March, he tell you the bridges buy and they're in the country, and this is him in November now, saying that we ain't too sure. And that's still 2 years ago. What take place between then? Incompetence, because he spent most of the time out the country and it's his ministry. So he can't sort out anything in relation to it.
Will address it. So it's clear from where I sit that I think we are going to have to get a flood mitigation expert to review all of this and to provide further guidance. Obviously, the river empties the sea. I even had someone telling me...
In other words, you got to go back to the same plan that NNP had from the beginning. Just say that now.
Text message saying, well, as long as the river and the sea are at the same level, then the water is always going to flow back into the settlement. So that is sort of, in a broad sense, what the outstanding aspects of it are. But I can have the Chief Technical Officer prove.
Yeah, that is you on the... Yeah, that is you in November the same year after you tell us the bridges here already. Yeah? I wonder what the Chief Technical Officer at the time is no longer the Chief
further
Technical
upstream
Officer.
within the river's catchment. Because we have more impervious surfaces being constructed, everybody has a paved driveway. They have their downspouts being positioned into the roadside drains and to the rivers as well. So that also increases the volume of the water that we experience coming downstream in St. John's River. The river that goes to St. John's River and empties out by the stadium basically comes from areas above Bolio, Boca, and makes its way down into the channel. So our proposed designs in the river has to be mindful of all of these things. The intended plan, especially closest to the stadium, is to create a new humpback bridge. The current design...
Again, folks, this is the 19th, yeah, the 19th of November 2024, 2 years ago.
Bridge, because it is lower, close to the edge of the road, it becomes blocked with bamboo and other pieces of logs and debris, and that also now creates a hydraulic jump in the river that forces the water out to the sides into the stadium. So essentially, until we can seal up all of the spaces in the river that the water would exit through, we are likely to experience similar issues.
And up to now, they have still not sealed those areas. This is him speaking in November of 2024, and those areas that we have warned them about, like right next to the Humpback Bridge, and those other areas where the work has not been completed and still have not been completed, they just ain't listening. They leave it as that. And right now, you know what can happen if there's serious rain anytime this year that causes that normal flow of water and debris to come down. You know what's going to happen in River Road.
Within the ministry now, our current plan is to attack the construction of these bridges in the dry season coming up. If we do have...
That was dry season last year, so that would have been around now last year. Yeah.
But dry season. And as Mr. Walters would say, the climatic conditions are likely to be crazy. So ideally, if we do have a proper dry season, we will be cracking off with some work in the river to construct the bridges. And
that never happened. Never happened. We were told that in 2024. We're in 2026 now. Never happened. Yeah? Never take place. That is the government that we have in place right now who lie to us to our face like that. Who would say these things to us directly. So we hear the Prime Minister speaking about the bridge and we have the bridges, the bridges are here. No, me say, he say, we have the bridges are here in the country. Let me see.
At a fraction of the cultures that the area, in keeping with some of the more aesthetically historic and pleasing features that the area of River Road has. You know, we have a historic green bridge there which should really be preserved and turned into something rather than sitting and rotting. But we have procured, Mr. Speaker, 2 steel bridges at a fraction of the cost. The bridges are in fact on the island. They've been shipped, they've arrived. On the island, they've been shipped, they've arrived. on the island. They've been shipped. They've arrived. On the island. They've been shipped. They've arrived. The designs for the abutments of the bridges are more or less completed. They've arrived. The designs for the abutments of the bridges are more or less completed. We expect that the design review process will take place. And once it commences, then the time frame for, in fact, installing the bridges will be reduced significantly because the post
lie, and more lie. That is what we face. Somebody was calling. Give me a call now. I'll be finishing in the next 15 minutes. We'll be wrapping up the show in the next 15 minutes. So if you want to call, you got to call now. Yeah? If you want to call, you got to call now. Yeah? That's what we facing. At 2024, you hear him in 2024. Yeah? And imagine, a little off that issue, because I mentioned it a little earlier. You have this guy saying that you're bringing the nurses and them from Ghana here and you're going to have to provide housing for them and so on. Meanwhile, you take back houses from people in Carriacou and you give it to who you want. So you take back houses from one set of people and you give it to who you want. And we hear now you maybe want to run some of the people who get now. You want to put them out. Then on top of that, you said you all are the ones that let us know that there are over 6,000 people waiting with applications for houses. Maybe even more than that now. Because that was said quite back in 2023. It was 6,000. This is 3 years. Well, 2023. Yeah, nearly 3 years later now. Yeah. So let me see if I can
share with us a status update, because that of the China low-income housing units with reference to the reapplication process.
Just remember, folks, while they were saying this then, now we also have the situation now that you have to find housing for the Nigerian medical people, the Ghanaian medical people that coming into Grenada. And you know they're making smart move to try and get rid of the Cubans. They just ain't saying that. But they're trying to transplant the Cubans now with the Ghanaians, etc. And it's plain to see.
Units get into the hands of homeowners who are so desirous.
Yes. Well, firstly, there was not a re-application. What we have done is expanded
the application
process to accommodate more people into the pool, because we believe circumstances might have changed over the period of time, and so there might be people who are not there who wanted to apply. And funny enough, thousands of people applied, and so we have maybe close to 6,000 or so.
How much people?
And funny enough, thousands of people applied, and so we have maybe close to 6,000 or so applicants. I mean, I did not actually see the applications, so I'm only reporting what I
on the numbers.
I heard people who were not there who wanted to apply. And funny enough, thousands of people applied. And so we have maybe close to 6,000 or so applicants. I mean, I did not actually see the applications.
So you have over 6,000 applications. Yeah? Yet still, we have enough houses, man, because we have houses right now. Instead of going in Maribo and finding some young men and some young ladies who would like to do nursing, paying for them and put them through this St. George University or creating a nursing program and fast tracking them through that program and then making sure that they get some proper training along with the SGU or whether you want to do that program together with TAMCC or you want to recreate a school of nursing, whichever approach you want to take, or you want to send them in Cuba for an extended period of time and have them back. No, forget all of that. Grab some nurses out of Ghana and bring them here. And then you have to find the housing to place them in. Yeah, you have to find the housing to place them in. And Mr. Prime Minister, that make more sense, isn't it? So you have to find the housing to place the Ghanaian nurses in when you already have a problem in relation to people getting a home here. And many of you out of that 6,000 listening to this program tonight.
And I'm saying that's the point of it. It's not just the desire. You have to have the resources to pay for it. You have to have the resources to house them. And I'm saying part of the discussion is, obviously, we are not going to take people and pay for them. So part of the MOU here will have to be obviously
Oh, you will end up paying for them, believe me. You somehow, somewhere, you will end up paying.
the United States footing the bill. If they're unable or unwilling to foot the bill, then obviously it's not going to happen because we don't have the capacity to foot the bill, right? And I'm saying this to say even with the nurses that we are seeking to bring from Ghana, finding houses and so on for them will be a challenge because we know housing is a challenge in Grenada for
Oh, you know housing is a challenge? Oh, you know housing is a challenge. Yet still you knock off all the people, you put your own people, you sell the houses for people that need houses and so on. The 500 houses a year you promise have not been done. You know housing is a problem in Grenada? I would have never thought so. Okay, I would have never thought so.
finding houses and so on for them will be a challenge because we know housing is a challenge in Grenada for Grenada in general, right? So this is part and parcel of the challenges that we have to work through and
So don't
and
you
navigate.
think it would have been smarter to train your people from here who already have place that they stay in, who have family ties, everything here, they could have go and they could have build a new place, they could have get land, they could have other, no. Bring the Nigerians, bring the Ghanaians. Yeah, because you want to show off yourself when you go over there. Yes, we've provided employment for your people and so on, isn't it? Yeah, go ahead with that, man. We didn't mind if it's Cubans, you know, there's other Caribbean people, they right here, that kind of thing. Now when the Cubans ready to just go back about their business and thing. But yeah, you want to go and you have to provide housing for them. Okay, Papa. Yeah, I hear you. 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 Right? 14734407377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night.
Good night, bro.
Hey, how you go?
You know, I like my questions.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
When and if they bring the deportees back into Grenada, where are they going to house them? They be putting them in the prison or they have them around the population?
Maybe they might complete the Chinese project and ask them to do the other set of houses that they're trying to avoid. Because you know that's the last set of houses done by the Chinese are not all the houses that had to be done under the arrangement with China. There are still quite a couple hundred houses to be built under that arrangement. This government is just too incompetent that they won't get those houses built.
But you still can let them among the population. My suggestion is that if they have to go by there, as they say, the hands are tied to do that, they have to bring back the death penalty. And when the folks land on the airport, give them a briefing, let them know that the consequences for such crime is the penalty of death and we have quick judgment. So they'll keep themselves quiet.
Well, my brother, according to the law that the Minister of Foreign Affairs was referring to, I can't remember it off the top of my head now, they can't do them that.
Something talking about UN and what have you. Those guys and them are making joke. Them guys are making joke. I tell you, you only praise God to save Grenada, you know. We got to really pray that, you know, they get out of it quick and get out.
We've proven tonight the Prime Minister is a compulsive liar. We heard him speaking about the River Road project, and there are many other instances that we've caught him lying in relation to. We've heard him lying clearly to us today about that River Road project, especially about the bridges component of it. Yeah, we heard him lying.
Sean, I want to give you good compliments because you have the courage to listen to him. Not even on Facebook, I see he even speaking or saying something, I could sit down and listen to him.
I just listen to
I like Kami. I like Kami. I can't take that voice. I can't take that voice and I can't take those lies. But we just got to pray that things change and they call the election quick and Grenadian people wake up and do something like they did a couple years ago. They got to give them now 15-0, not one, not even the shadow you want around them. And one thing I was thinking about too, long before I was thinking about that the transfer of power with the idea they have that if a government lose, before they lose, they walk in and they scrape them out and they lock them out the office. They can't go back in the office and even get their lunch container if they leave it in there. That's supposed to change. You win the election today, we give 2 weeks before you take office or a month before you take office.
A month now, you're getting a week, man. That's enough time.
Yeah, a week, that's good. But not today for tomorrow. No, for now.
Well,
So they should make some adjustment in the constitution for that transfer of power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my
Get
brother.
home safe, Emma. Get home safe.
All right, thank you so very much.
All right, take it easy. One love.
Yes, indeed, folks, as we are within the last 6 minutes of tonight's program, I did say I'm going up until 10:30, and I am going up until 10:30. We are in a situation in Grenada that I've seen other countries in the Caribbean face. We're on the verge of a general election. All the pointers by the present administration is pointing towards a general election. Let me take this call. This is going to be our final call for tonight. Hello, good night.
Good night, sir.
Hey, good night. How you doing?
I am the guy from the Nutmeg State.
Yes, Nutmeg State.
Believe it or not, I'm from the Nutmeg State, and I was in Grenada for 7 weeks. I did pick up nutmeg, and I also did pick cocoa. I sell my cocoa wet.
Well, use man. You get through one.
And what I must say that NNP has been doing my liquor rum shop survey, and NNP has a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do because my constituency, St. Patrick's East, and my rum shop talk that I was getting, you know,
give me the rum shop
it's
talk.
okay.
Give
It's
me the rum
okay.
shop talk direct. Off air.
Yeah, you know,
we ain't
but
doing we rum shop polling and then tell the other side what's going on. We go talk.
no,
we go
but
talk
I
one
was
on
down there. I was down there when you said the polling thing came out.
Yeah.
It came out the polling. I like my guy in because I went to Digo Peace. I went to down there, but I have to be very, I was walking under the radar. But anyway, I am back up in the snow. Just calling to tell you that everything is good.
All right, my friend. Pour you in that snow.
Well, no, I had somebody dig out my snow, but and one thing I have to say.
Go ahead. We're listening.
The independence dance that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
This guy with the small mouth that he is the Minister of Education is going to be having our independence dance. I'm not talking about the guy who threw his tie over his shoulder. That's the Minister of Agriculture. He's another dance guy too. But the guy, my wife, we went to the mall in Grenada. We spent over $1,000 to go to the party. But I cannot go and listen to that guy with a small mouth. He said he was going to do something with the agave and the thing in Suez. Why am I going and listen to this guy?
My friend, as much as it is, what they're trying to do is they're trying to build the profile of that individual because they believe that he would have a chance of beating the political leader of the new National Party. That ain't happening. I can tell you he's going to get the worst cocktail of his life this time around. It would be like
isn't that our Emlyn Pierre constituency?
Yes, it is Emlyn Pierre's constituency. That was said they're trying to build the profile of that particular individual because they believe he might be able to take on Emlyn Pierre seriously the next election. That ain't happening. He's going to get the worst cocktail of all the opponents that ever came up against her. He's going to get the worst cocktail in that seat. Watch and see. Just remember to tell you. You go see vote. Watch and see. You feel it, sir? My friend.
All right, sir.
1 minute remaining. We're
All
going
right.
to talk. All right. Blessings.
All right, good. All right, good. All right.
Yes, my good friend from the Nutmeg State there, closing it off on the cause for tonight. Yes, indeed, folks. And of course, it is always wonderful being here with you. As I always say, it's wonderful being here with you. And in whatever you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. And folks, remember, check the voters list. You see the nonsense they're doing there. Check the voters list. Relay your information. Yeah, I'm hoping that at least we may hear something from the Parliamentary Elections Office tomorrow as to why they're closing on a day that people are supposed to be bringing in the information and when is really 7 days. Yeah, we should be hearing from them in relation to that because what they're saying there, I ain't trust it. All right, folks. So that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night with you with more Talking Points and we will keep it in them the facts. You understand? We're out.
preach like Paul and not live the word, you will suffer like diabetes. Hey Christian, no bother carry, do not bother carry your souls well. Cause if you love go a church and not live the life, you will suffer like diabetes. Hey cinnamon, do not bother carry, do not bother carry your souls well. If you're not go a church and not accept Christ, you will suffer like diabetes. Hey preacher man,